Hello again, and good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for that introduction, Ma'am Delara. I'm again Miss Aline Mendoza from Philippine Science High School, and I am currently the LMS coordinator of the main campus only. Okay, now my talk about Pisay Moodle experience will be based on these three things. Of course, I would like to introduce who or what is Pisay, and the next topic would be LMS management structure and our online classrooms. I would like to share this with you, how we do things in Pisay and how we leverage the use of Moodle, all the features of Moodle. Currently, we are using the version 3.9, and just like what the previous speaker from TESDA said, we are also looking into upgrading to a newer version of Moodle. Okay, but we're still evaluating how it will affect our current setup. Anyway, let's proceed in introducing who or what is Pisay. Okay, I will be running a video made by the system introducing what is Pisay and the different campuses of Pisay.
As we celebrate our 20th milestone anniversary, let me walk you through the 16 campuses of the Philippine Science High School system. Let us start with campuses in Northern Luzon.
The Cagayan Valley campus, known as the CVC, is found in the province of Nueva Vizcaya.
Building a culture of science among our students, supporting them in that venture is quite a challenging task para sa aming mga science teachers. So what we do is to channel them to other possible sources of the answers.
I think the opportunity that was introduced and appealed to me most was my love for excellence, the passion to be politically involved and look and see things fairly all the time, which Pisay has imbibed in me through these years.
Traveling upward, the Cordillera Administrative Region campus towers in Nagilian Road, Baguio City.
Working with Pisay is like supporting a family. We teach our children to embrace their individuality and celebrate their differences.
Pisay Carsi is the center of excellence here in the Cordillera, so you're surrounded by excellent people. People who are not only excellent in academics, but here in Carsi we have singers, dancers, athletes.
Traveling downward and onto the middle part of Luzon, the Central Zone campus boasts on top of a hill in Clark Freeport Zone, Pampanga.
For us students to remain holistic individuals, we always have to remember who we're studying for. We're studying for the people. If you're just studying to win contests, you're not going to develop your heart, your morals. But if you remember that in the end, you're going to be serving the Filipino people, then you'll develop your heart, then you'll become well-rounded individuals.
From the mountains and hills of Luzon, we now look at the campuses from Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol, and back to Quezon City.
The Bicol Region Campus, or BRC, is situated in Goa, Camarines Sur.
Being a science journalist is very exciting because not only do I get to engage with my community, but I am also able to fulfill my responsibility as a scholar to pursue the truth and serve it to the Filipino people to whom I owe the gift of my education.
One of the young campuses is located in Batangas City, the Calabarzon Region Campus.
The Philippine Science High School Calabarzon Region Campus is instrumental in furthering the holistic growth of our students.
Well, one of the foremost things that the campus offers to the students is something we call the Campus Journalism Program. Through it, they demonstrate their passion for telling stories, stories that matter, stories that bring out the heart of the Pisay scholar.
MRC provides projects that enrich the scholars and their teachers alike. Through sets of training and relevant activities they employ, this new campus showcases its potential.
Aside from teaching academics, yung teachers naman sa Pisay, pinopromote din naman yung development nila sa other aspects like socially, morally. Siyempre, meron din mga clubs sa Pisay. The school as a whole actually, sinusupport yung hindi lang yung academic development ng students.
Now, let us travel the air and seas to see the campuses in the Visayas Islands.
I don't think that Pisay would be Pisay without the people, right? So, in my experience as a Pisaynon, I think I've learned just as much as I have from my peers as I did from the curriculum.
Here in PSHS Central Visayas Campus, we are more focused on developing our undiscovered skills through the fabrication of our innovation. We are able to showcase our hidden talents that will integrate our future. Pure intelligence is the application of our knowledge and learnings so that we can give back and serve the nation.
The PSHS, being a prestigious science high school, has established so many linkages internationally, and it has allowed me to become competitive in these international settings. And I'm happy that through the opportunities that PSHS has given me, I'm able to develop myself to be a better scholar for the nation.
From Luzon down to Visayas Island, let me bring you to Mindanao, starting with the land of youth and bounty, Lanao del Norte.
As a Pisay CMC teacher and as a mother, we have to make sure that we don't just teach our students what is really chemistry, but we have to teach them what is life.
We are very particular with values and behavior, and we make it to a point that students, when they learn concepts, theories inside the classroom, they also bring with them values that they can share to their family and with the community.
Here at SRC, we're not only concerned in molding our scholars academically but holistically by imbibing the core values for passion for excellence, pursuit of truth, and commitment to service. We also want to teach our scholars that they have the responsibility of giving back to the community. That's why we conducted several outreach programs within the region.
Witness the other youngest campus flourish, the Zamboanga Peninsula Region Campus. Scholars put to good use the knowledge they acquire from their campus. They strive hard to reach their goals and dreams as a current scholar of the nation.
Bumalik ako sa Pisay for the feeling of being home kasi iba yung vibe ng institution, di ba? Nandito ka nang galing, dito ka nabuo, dito ka din babalik at magturo again. So it's also a part of giving back to the country and to really be passionate about science.
The PSHS System, Office of the Executive Director, celebrates its 20th milestone anniversary, and we are glad that 16 campuses operate efficiently as we look on and guide them.
To the faculty members, you get to handle the most intelligent students in the country. As such, the responsibility of making them the best citizens of the country is upon you. But most of all, I would like to congratulate the Philippine Science High School System for 20 years of great service to the country. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
I wish the Philippine Science High School System, through its Board of Trustees Chairman Secretary Fortunato T. de la Peña and its Executive Director Lilia Habacon, more meaningful and gratifying years. My heartfelt congratulations on your 20th milestone year.
I really hope that in the future, when you are already successful in your respective careers and professions, you will be able to give back because you have been given this opportunity that others have not been able to enjoy. So let us all celebrate the 20th year of our Philippine Science High School System. Mabuhay!
The Philippine Science High School System will continue to ensure that its campuses adhere to utmost standards, so we can continue to provide world-class scientists and leaders for the country and for the generations to come.
Wait. Oops. Thank you for watching with me the introduction regarding our campus, different 16 campuses of Philippine Science High School nationwide. The reason I presented to you the Pisay system is because we are opened already since June 15 to November 15 for new applicants for the coming school year 2022-2023. Okay. Page down. Wait, where's my page down? Right here. Okay, let's go to my next slide. Okay, we are inviting, if you know or if you have children who are currently in grade 6, we are currently open. Sorry for that a while ago. The application period is from June 15 to November 15 for school year 2023-2024. There is no exam for this application. So you can get the application online through nce.pshs.edu.ph. And if you want to know more about the requirements of the application, you can go to also to the system website, pshs.edu.ph. There is another video here that I would like to share with you. What are the benefits aside from what you have seen in the previous video of being a Pisay scholar? Okay, so you will be in full scholarship, free tuition fee, free uniform, free books, and with stipends. Okay, now aside from getting stipends from your the Philippine Science High School main campus has a foundation which supports students who need more financial support through their Godparent program and Godchildren Care Fund. So we have 16 campuses around the nation. So you could choose which campus that you would like to be part of. But the first 240 ranking nationwide will go to the main campus, and the regional ranking will be done for applicants that will be accepted in the regional campuses. Okay, so I would like to invite again for those who have children, grade 6, currently in grade 6 to apply, because we need more applicants here. We would like to reach more students to be able to apply with our school so that they will be able to enjoy the scholarship that our school is providing them. Okay, now let's go to the main topic here in my talk. No? So I would like to share with you how we restructure ourselves, no, when the pandemic started, because everybody was caught off guard. No? So I would like to share LMS management structure and the online classroom that we did, which I think would still be helpful with the coming looming face-to-face classes in the coming school year, because we are still going to continue using our current LMS, which is Moodle. Okay, it wouldn't have been possible without the help of Nefila. Nefila was very helpful in setting up Moodle with us, training us, the administrative side, the academic side of using Moodle. Nefila is really very helpful in this area also. And during the course of the last 2 school years, all our technical supports came from Nefila. So I would like to convey my appreciation with them, no, or to them. Okay. Now, when the pandemic started, we restructure ourselves. I think simple organizational structure namin. So we have Philippine Science High School System, Kids Innovation Division. Then for each of the campuses, we have our LMS coordinator. Okay, so we are responsible in managing the LMS, the administrative side of it. And under the LMS coordinator, we have subject area LMS champions. We created this way because, for example, if we would like to, for example, structure the LMS in some way, we would like to, for example, install a plugin, new features in LMS. We course through it through PSHS Kid. Okay, so that the implementation of the learning management system would be standardized in terms of features throughout the different campuses of Philippine Science. Okay, now the responsibility of subject area LMS champions is using Moodle is not really that easy at the start, no, because we were using, for example, Google Classroom, Edmodo. It takes some kind of training. There is a learning curve if you're going to use Moodle. Okay, so the LMS champion for each subject area helps in, for example, training, additional training, gives additional training for the teachers in their subject area, and if there are new teachers that will be coming in, for example, to a particular academic unit, then that LMS champion will be helpful in, for example, setting up the courses for the new teacher, teaching the new teacher how to use Moodle and how to go about in using, for example, Moodle. And any technical problems will go through first in the LMS champion. Okay, now if there are any problems that cannot be resolved by the LMS champion, it will go up to me as the LMS coordinator. Then if I cannot answer that problem, then the FILA and PSHS Kid will come in also for our technical support. Okay, now for our classroom, okay, oops, sorry. What we noticed in the first school year during the pandemic is that all of the teachers with their different sections or classes that they are handling, they are generating a lot of video conferencing links, and the student will jump from one video conferencing link and open another one just to be present in all of their subjects. So this school year we took advantage of the breakout room of Zoom. Okay, so we simulated the physical classroom and translated it as a breakout rooms. In this way, there is only one video conferencing link for each year level. Okay, the breakout rooms represents the sections of each of the year level, and the students will just go into that breakout rooms, and the teachers are the one responsible for going from one breakout room to another. Okay, so this made it easier. This made it easier for the student to go to one subject to the next in their schedule, and also for the teachers just to remain in one, for example, a maximum of at least two video conferencing link if the teacher is handling subjects that are in different grade level area. So this is how we leverage the use of the breakout rooms of the Zoom link. Okay, if the teachers have need more meeting with their section, they could create, for example, a Gmeet video conferencing link. Okay, now let's go to the meat really of my talk, Pisay and Moodle, or leveraging the use of Moodle. This is how our Moodle is installed in the main campus. Okay, now each of the installation of the Moodle in the different campuses of Philippine Science High School may have a different look, but this is for the main campus only. So our website is khub.mc.pshs.edu.ph. Okay, when the pandemic started, we don't have the infrastructure to have an online LMS, so we don't have also the infrastructure to host it in the main campus. Okay, so we decided, or the system decided, that the Moodle, our LMS or our Moodle will be hosted on cloud using the Amazon Web Services. Okay, using very limited financial resources, we took advantage of the S3 bucket of AWS because we cannot, there is a feature in AWS but it's very expensive, wherein it will adjust to how you use, for example, the resources provided by the Amazon Web Services. So if you need more power, they will adjust automatically. If you have more storage, they will adjust automatically. We cannot afford that, okay? So what we do is if we need more power, for example, the number of CPU, we just adjust it based on the current activities. For example, if there would be campus-wide examinations, we just adjust manually with the help of Nefila to give us more CPU. But with the storage, this is very difficult to do, no? So we took advantage of S3 bucket. And again, thank you very much for Nefila for setting this up with for us, yung S3 bucket na ito, because this is more like unlimited storage space with not very expensive, unlimited storage space, because the pricing here is, for example, the first 50 terabytes, the cost of 1 gigabyte is $0.023. Okay, so very thankful for Nefila for setting this up with us. Okay, now we also learned during the pandemic that although Amazon Web Service is relatively reliable cloud services, we also experienced some downtime with them because at some point, the server, I think in Singapore, went down. So there was no access to our Moodle 1 or 2 days. And last year, we experienced downtime with the ICT with the .edu.ph domain extension. So we also subscribe to Google Workspace for Education. This is our backup LMS. So most of our teachers have a backup courses online using Google Classroom. Okay, we are not new. We don't have a new partnership with Google. We have been partnered with Google for a very long time because our PSHS.edu.ph email account is run using the Google email services. And of course, the other online applications that help us with communicating with our students. Okay. Now, the first thing also that we set up is that we would like to have a one login system, including with Moodle. Since at the start, when we start working, we log into our email. When we go to our LMS, we also need to log into our LMS. So for a seamless, for example, transfer from one online application to the next, we decided to enable the Moodle open authorization features. Okay, some says there are security issues with this one because if, for example, somebody get your email accounts, then they will be able to access all of your applications. But we remind our teachers and students to not share or be careful with their accounts. Okay, now how do we set this up? Okay, now I've shared, as you can see on the screen here, the links on how to set the open authentication tool of Moodle, but I could show you a little bit of it. Okay, here, wait. Okay, so this is our K-Hub. I'll log in as K-Hub admin. Okay. To enable your open authentication 2 version of Moodle, you can go to plugin and you need to go to the authentication part and manage authentication. Okay, you just enable the OAuth2 plugins here. Okay, now after enabling this one, you go to site administrator again and go to server. Then there is the open OAuth2 services here, and you can create several OAuth2 services for different applications. For us, we just created for Google. We open it only for Google login. Okay, because we could control here that the Google email account that they could use here is only for pshs.edu.ph. So anyone who tries to log in using other Gmail account won't be able to log in because that is the only registered email account in their Moodle account. Okay, so if I'm going to log in here, cannot see my screen. Okay. So if I'm going to log out, I can use the Google link to log in. Okay, nag-internal error because I logged in using a different account a while ago. Okay, I'll try to open with this one. Okay, okay, Hub. Here, so as you can see here, I'm already logged in my email account. Just click on Google. Then I can go directly to my dashboard. Okay, so another reason why we enable this authentication too, because we have in the main campus, we have a lot of senior citizen teachers. So we wouldn't want them to remember a lot of username and password, which happened to us at the start because they keep on forgetting their username and password. So we just decided to enable this Google login. Okay. Okay. Now, with Moodle, the different features of Moodle allows the teachers to be course content developer. What I found about what I like about Moodle is that there are a lot of resources wherein it helps you develop its content, no? So it is beyond just uploading your PDF, uploading your PowerPoint presentation. You could really design your course, okay? And in the main campus, we didn't box our teacher using one template, course template. Okay, so as you can see here, here are different examples of courses inside the main campus K-Hub or Knowledge Hub. Okay, so this is for CS3. This is for CS1 Edge. This is one of the examples of the math course, and this is for the Physics 3. Okay, so the reason why we allowed our teachers to create to design their own courses is that they are the ones who know how they will be presenting the content of their subject area. And they be able to move things around, and they be able to, for example, fashion their courses based on the requirements of their students. Okay, so there is a drawback to this one because I receive emails, 1 or 2 emails per year from grade 7 students that why are we not using just one format of the course, but the benefit far outweighs that particular concern because eventually they will get used to the courses that their teachers had designed for them. And the teacher is also responsible for orienting their students on how to navigate around their courses. Okay. Okay. Now, even though the teachers are designing their own courses, for example, how it looks, how they navigate, the content of these courses should be standardized across all subject area. And that is one of the challenges that we had to face when we went online. So how do we make sure that the implementation of the instructional material is standardized instructional materials inside the individual courses of the teachers? Okay, one method that was done by the integrated science unit. I'm sorry, I have to hide their faces, no, because of the data privacy thing. Okay, one method that the integrated science teacher did is that they've asked one course, main course, wherein they develop everything there, and it just being copied to the individual courses by the different teachers and in their different sections. Okay, another technique that we use. Okay, another technique that we used here. I'll go back to this one. Let's go to our site home. For example, in CS3, okay, we team teach a course. Okay, so this is mine. I'm handling several sections in one course, and we can also team teach the same course. We did this because our new teacher didn't enter the last school year, so we have to take over his classes. So he was responsible for 4 sections. So we did team teaching here. Okay. Now, how are we managing the sections? For example, 4 sections in one course. Okay, so a lot of our teachers do this. Only one course for 4 or 6 sections at a time. It will start off with how you will organize your participants and how I, for example, register all users of our LMS. When we enroll every year, our students inside our learning management system, they are assigned to their section cohorts. So when we enroll, for example, our students inside our courses, we use this particular enrollment method, which is cohort sync. Okay, so this cohort sync enrollment methods will, so after putting everything, so you enroll by cohorts, then we use this enrollment method cohort sync, so that if ever, just in case there is a transfer from one section to another, it would not be difficult for example, transferring also the students that had already been enrolled in the course to transfer to another one. And if we add the students, for example, in this particular cohorts, then they are automatically enrolled, for example, in the courses that they need to take for their specific grade level. So I would like you to explore this, for example, to enrollment methods if you haven't used this in your courses. Okay, so in this way, when we manage it, so for example, when we give them exams in different time, so for example, this is a example of a long test. Wait. This one. You could use the group override method. So as you can see, you can schedule a different day and time for a group when they will take these exams. Our long tests are standardized across subject area in CS3, and it is also being done by other subject areas. Okay, and aside from the group override, so if you want to enable this, you can use user overrides. Okay. So that's how we manage our classes in Moodle, especially if you have several sections within a course. Okay. Wait. Oh, it was not safe. Okay. Now, within the course, oops, I opened a different one. Kaya pala. Sorry. Okay. Within the course, we suggest that since we are using a different format, it allows us to group our topics together, for example, for a particular week. As you can see here, this is an example, first week of the first quarter for CS3. So we did not just upload PDF or PowerPoint presentation, we translated our instructional materials to lessons, to books, and aside from these instructional materials, we have the exercises here, okay? And we also encourage our teachers, for example, and a lot of them have done this to record themselves explaining the topics, because we all know that we learn more if we hear and see, and with the exercises they will be able to do or apply the topics that they have learned a particular period. Okay, we also encourage our teachers to, for example, for every period you get the feedback from your student. So we use the feedback feature of Moodle also here, so that we will know if did we give them too much for this week, okay, or is it just right, or they need more, for example. Because within a class, there you have a different set of students. There are slow students, there are fast students, and there are just average students, okay? And as you can see here, there are several non-graded exercises here. So this non-graded, they will do this or not, it's up to them, but it is a practice exercises, so that when they do the graded exercise, they will be able to get a decent score or more than a passing score. Okay, now since Several teachers already had created video lecture tutorials, and some are available online, okay? So you might have heard the news that a math teacher created 65 video lectures, okay? With the partnership with IPOFIL, these video lectures created by Sir Leo Crisologo had been copyright protected already. So I have my own video lectures, but I only uploaded it in YouTube. It is free to use. Anyway, computer topics changes a lot, no? Very dynamic. So I don't know if I'm going to go through the process of copyrighting any of the video. Okay, I'll answer that later. Okay, my question. Okay, now how did we use the student assessment in Grupo? Okay. One of the, a cool feature of Moodle is that it allows you to create your question bank. Okay, and you can reuse your items year in and year out with your new set of students. Okay, the one thing that I would like to also focus on the question bank is that we through the use of the statistical report of Moodle, we will be able to increase the validity of our test items here, so that we will know the next time that we're going to give this this particular set of questions, we know that the test items that we are using are valid. Okay, so please for example, use the reports, statistical reports of Moodle, and this is the example report of it. Okay, automatically it will flag, for example, an item if its discriminatory efficiency is very low. Okay, so I suggest, we encourage our teachers to review the items of your test items, so that if you plan to reuse it, check how it was, kumbaga, how it served its purpose. So, were you able to test what it needs to test? Okay, what did you give? Kasi minsan, sometimes our students, wow, your exams are too hard, or your exams are too easy. Okay, but frequently it's too hard. Why was it too hard? So why was it too easy? Okay, so this statistical report will help you analyze your test item individually. You can remove your test item in the test, or you can improve it for your next, for example, applications of the test item. Okay, and between us as three teachers, we share our question bank. Okay, another cool features of Moodle is the creation of advanced grading of marking guide and rubrics. And what you create in your course could be shared across the implementation of your Moodle. Okay, within the campus, for example, in our campus. So, for example, a physics teacher, I made her a rubrics creator. So she created a lot of rubrics for all the different physics courses, which could be reused, updated, and in the different, for example, physics classes. I also implemented this in our CS3. Okay. Okay. Now, objective assessment. Okay, sometimes we, especially going into face-to-face, students will be able to talk about what is the score of their assignment or project, or what grade did you receive from mom? Bakit ganito? Why did she give you this kind of grade? Okay, so the blind marking feature of Moodle allows you to do objective assessment, because while you are grading their assessment or project, you wouldn't see who submitted. The names will be replaced with something else, and the grade that you are giving your student will not go directly to their grade book. Okay, it allows you to do marking flow. You can go back and forth, because sometimes if you're using rubrics or marking guide, if you are grading their assignment or project today where you are feeling down, you might be too strict about grading it. And if you are marking it or grading it the next day when you are happy, you are more, sabihin natin, kinder in grading. Okay? So this allows you to go back and forth between assignments, and when you think that you are relatively standard grading the grades that you have given and you followed the same. For example, sometimes even if you're using a rubric or a blind marking, there are still some area for subjectivity. So if you are using the same, for example, criteria, and that's a bit, oh, why did I give them that? Why I did that? So you would be able to, for example, standardize your decisions there. Okay, then that is the only time that you could release the grades in their grade book. Okay, so you could see it in the grades. You just say yes for blind marking. Okay, and this one, I really use this in the project of my CS3 in the workshop resource. It entails some time to set up the workshop resource of Moodle, but when you apply this, because the project of CS3 is for them to be able to create a website, okay, a very responsive website, and I would like my students to be able to evaluate the work of their work and the work of their classmates. Okay, so when you set this up, you can, for example, specify a manual allocation of projects to be graded, and they could also evaluate their own work, or you could specify how many projects that the student will be evaluating, and Moodle will assign it automatically. Now, why do I use this? Because we would like to develop in our students, for example, evaluative skills and how they will, for example, give feedback. Okay. So this is the workshop feature of Moodle, and I would like to show you some example of the self-evaluation feedback that they give themselves. So for example, like this one, while I think I did well, I have many things to improve upon. The one thing in the rubrics, I cannot figure out how to make the social media image sprites responsive with the size of the windows, so on and so forth. So this is another feedback. So love the animation and content itself. I suggest changing the image size when you adjust the browser size. So they learn how to give constructive feedback. So my instructions to them is to start with something positive, and it should be constructive criticism based on the given rubrics. Okay, the first thing that my student asked when I implemented this, Mom, I'm afraid they will know who graded them. Actually, with the workshop, their identity is hidden. And since I'm handling, for example, 4 sections in one course, the projects may come from the projects that are assigned to them to be assessed may come from a different section. They wouldn't even know what is my feedback to them. Okay, or the feedback that I gave, they wouldn't know that I was the one who gave that feedback. So, so yung mga takot, those who are afraid, those who are afraid in giving feedback, kasi they are afraid that their classmates will get back at them. So this hide their identity afterwards. Okay, and there should be processing at the end of the workshop resource. Okay, now I asked them how they feel about the workshop resource and if they want to continue work using this, because I implemented this in the first quarter. Up to the end of the quarter, they are okay with this workshop resource of Moodle, and they like seeing the work of their other classmates, and they get ideas how to improve their own projects. Okay, the use of groups and groupings. Okay, this is one of the things that is not widely used, but under the social science unit of the main campus, they use the groups and groupings features of Moodle extensively, as you can see here. Okay, so if you are implementing an online group activities, you will be able to create groups first, then these groups will be assigned to a particular groupings, and your group submission settings could be done on the assignment, for example, here. So students submit in groups, yes, and only one is required to submit. If that one student submitted already and received a grade from you, all of the member of the group will get the same grade. You have to identify what groupings that you will be assigning for this particular group activities. Okay, And of course, since everything is online and our students like to copy and paste everything from online and submit it as their own, okay, so it also happens in Pisay. So we enable our Turnitin plugin. And of course, the Turnitin has a subscription. So explore in using this particular plugin so that you will be able to impose plagiarism checking would be easier for you. Okay. And it pays to organize your gradebook. Okay, so this is one of the topics in day one. So if you're not going to organize your gradebook, the assessment items in your courses will just be listed as a straight line, no? So listed lang siya. Okay, so it is since for example for a high school we have different quarters, we have 4 quarters, so we need to arrange our for example, assessment items of our students into different categories based on the quarter, and within the quarter, what are the subcategories of the test items, okay? It helps us here because we are required to give, for example, a mid-year report of the grades of the students, okay? So instead of giving them individual reports, we just ask them to look at their grade book in their LMS. So it takes some time to set this up, but once you set it up, and a good thing about it, it allows you also to create Excel-like formulas. Okay, so you will be able to show, or the students will be able to know right away what are their standings inside your subject area. Now, what are the tools for student monitoring? So this is also very challenging for us, no? So how are they using LMS here? Okay, so the first thing that we ask our teachers to set up for each of the materials that they are posting in their courses is the completion tracker. Okay, so sometimes this is not being done properly. So students could just check if they're completed or not. So give the proper condition for your completion tracker so that you could use the completion tracker report properly here. So once we generate this report, this is given to their advisor so that the advisor could advise the parents of the teachers who are failing behind the requirements of a particular subject. There is also a plugin, which is attendance checker. Okay, so you could create a different attendance setup for the student. They could do self-checking, and this is a sample session setup. And within the session setup, you will be able to see this one. Now, this is helpful also if you are incorporating attendance in your grades, because each of these items could be assigned, for example, a grade. Okay, you can download this report. You can, the default is 2 points for present, late is 1 point, but I don't use that. I'm just using this for monitoring purposes. So as you can see here, the student could check. Okay, so before the asynchronous period, we ask them to go through the attendance checker, and we do this. Okay, and of course, I copied also the list of students in the breakout room. Okay, so that there is a double check of attendance. Okay. Course logs and live logs are also being used by the teachers in Pisay, especially if I receive a report, a student claiming that they submitted something, but the teacher cannot see the submissions. So I ask the teacher to check on their logs. Okay, so if the students were able to submit something, it can be seen in these course logs. Okay, this is also being used by our math unit when they are monitoring their students during exams. Okay, for example, even though some uses the safe browser feature or extra restrictions in the exams, some students could just use a different device and log into Moodle. Okay, with live logs, the teachers were able to see if students are opening other sources in their Moodle courses. Okay, while taking the tests. And it proved very effective because they found some students doing just that. Okay, so Course log and live logs is easily available per course in the reports part in the gear or yung edit settings ng courses natin. Okay? And of course, this is enabled at the start of the school year, the machine learning using Moodle Analytics. Okay? This informed the teachers through their emails the list of students who are failing behind your subjects. Okay, so they are projecting that students that may fail your course because he is not accessing, he is not submitting. So there are default notifications here in Moodle. And we use also configurable reports plugins. Okay, so we develop several reports to be able to monitor our students and other uses if some reports are being required by, for example, by our campus director or by our executive director. So we use configurable reports plugin. But I'm very interested with the IntelliBoard shown yesterday. So it makes it easier to generate the reports here. You should know SQL and the schema of the Moodle database to be able to use this effectively. Okay? Now, aside from the use of Moodle in the academic requirements of our students, we encourage also the management units of Pisay to use Moodle also. Okay, so for example, here in the Curriculum Instruction Division, we have teacher induction program for incoming new teachers. Okay, in the middle, in the start of the school year or in the middle of the school year, we automatically enroll them in the teacher induction program and the getting to know K-Hub course. So there are videos here for the tour of our LMS and some other things that they need to know when they become part of PSHS. Okay, we also support courses for academic units. So for any communication or materials that needs to be shared between teachers. Student services, for example, like the library unit, wherein our databases, library online services, public access catalog, and list of new materials acquired are easily available through this library unit course. All of us are enrolled in this unit, in this course. And courses from HR unit, support for the teachers. We have the mental health literacy training that we did last school year. And we go through these particular materials that will help us how to handle ourselves and our students, especially there were a lot of mental health issues during the pandemic. Okay, and we also use the Moodle, just like what MoodleMoot is doing when we conducted our youth math and science fair. We created the course for this. The schedules are there. All the recordings, the materials that were used during the conferences and seminars are here to be used by the students even after INSAT. Okay, and that's it. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Aline Mendoza, for that informative talk. Ma'am, Philippine Science High School is home to some of the brightest, and we are honored to have you present your Moodle experience with us.
Thank you for having me.
At this point, ma'am, we will now be entertaining the questions and feedback of our audience. So we have a question here from Professor Ray Medenilla from the University of Makati. Does it have a built-in monitoring of the course in terms of acceptability of users? How do students find the platform, specifically if the course is laboratory?
Okay, as I mentioned before, we encourage our teachers to create their own feedback mechanism with regards to, for example, a certain period has passed by. They get the feedback from the students on how they did in, for example, regarding the use of the materials, how they were able to consume it and learn a particular topic or not. With regards to acceptability of the users, we did a separate survey for that and we do it per year level. Okay, so we found out that, Moodle is different, especially with the version of 3.9 as being compared with other, for example, LMS platforms. So we try to for example, change, for example, the look of each of the courses, make it more user-friendly, because that is one of the comment, no? Because they're used to Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, coming from different schools. So one of the comments is the the user experience. So we tried to put in several blocks to make it easier for them to use and navigate around the courses. Okay. Now about laboratory, for example, they have a different way to do that. They are given, for example, for courses that has laboratory, they redid their laboratory exercises wherein they will be able to perform it, some of it using, for example, home materials that they could find in their houses, in their homes, and some of the materials that special materials that they need to have, they have to get it from the school. Okay, so it depends on how I don't have any data regarding how a student doing laboratory work with interfacing with the LMS. Okay.
Okay, thank you. We have one feedback, ma'am, from Miss Catherine Cottrell. Kudos, ma'am Aline, for well-constructed LMS. I learned a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, ma'am, at this point, of course, we'd like to thank you for being our speaker and allow me to present the Certificate of Appreciation.
I stopped.
Yes, ma'am. So the Certificate of Appreciation, which reads, all right, Nifila Web Technology Incorporated presents this Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Aline Teresa Mendoza for sharing her invaluable knowledge and experience to the participants of the Moodle Moot Philippines 2022. This conference aims to bring together the Moodle community of practitioners and users to share experiences, research achievements, and innovative development using the most widely used open source learning management system, Moodle. Given this 29th day of July 2022, held virtually via Zoom video conferencing, signed by Ms. Cheryl R. Villaroman, MSIT, President and Chief Executive Officer of Nifila Web Technologies Incorporated.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, ma'am.